If you're watching this, you've probably already spent more time researching exchanges than you'd like to admit, but you still haven't bought any Bitcoin. I get it, there are a lot of options out there and the last thing you want is to put your money on the wrong platform. But here's the thing, your indecision and need for perfection is costing you, not blaming you. I've been there myself. And note this guys, I'm not telling you to buy a bunch of Satoshis or even a whole Bitcoin all at once right now. In fact, you don't need to listen to me at all, because what is best for my financial situation may not be best for your financial situation. But for those of you who anyway already decided that you were going to buy Bitcoin, I felt that I just needed to share this with you based on my experience in the hopes that it may make this journey easier for you. January 2023, Bitcoin opened at around 16,600. As per making of this video, it's trading at around 78,000. And that's after pulling back significantly from its all-time high of 126,000 in 2025. Even at today's lower price, a 10,000 investment back then would be worth close to 47,000 right now. Nearly 5 times your money at what many would call a down moment. That's the true price of waiting. But not much longer, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in an exchange and you'll have no excuse not to start. A quick note guys before we get into this. This is financial education and entertainment, not financial advice. I am not a financial expert, just a regular person on YouTube telling about my own experience and what I learned. Bitcoin is highly volatile and you may lose a lot of money if you don't understand it. So always do your research before investing your money and consult a financial advisor if needed. Talking about my experience, one of the exchanges I personally use is Kraken. It's available in many countries, including the US and Canada, and I love it for several reasons I'll talk about later. If after watching this video you decide that Kraken is for you, you can use my link below to get a sign-up bonus. And note that while I'm not sponsored by Kraken, this is an affiliate link and I may get a small commission if you sign up using it. So getting a bonus is great, but just so we're clear, I'm not telling you to sign up just because of the bonus. It's just a small extra. That should be the last criteria to pick an exchange. So let's dive in. What really matters when choosing an exchange to buy Bitcoin on? When choosing the best exchange to buy Bitcoin on, there's one foundational thing most beginners completely skip. And it matters more than any fee, any feature, any referral bonus. Here's what you need to understand if you're new to Bitcoin. There are 2 very different ways to buy Bitcoin. The first is on custodial exchanges. This is what most beginners start with. You sign up, deposit money, buy Bitcoin, and the exchange holds it on your behalf. Therefore, custodial. They hold your Bitcoin in custody. Think of it like a bank. Your balance is right there in the app, easy to see, easy to use, simple. The second is a non-custodial setup. Your Bitcoin goes directly to a wallet you control the moment you buy it. When you buy Bitcoin on a non-custodial exchange or platform, it means that you have full control over your Bitcoin. This is called self-custody. You buy Bitcoin directly into your hard wallet and access your Bitcoin directly without any middleman. This is a more secure, long-term option in my opinion. In Canada, Beaver Bitcoin does exactly this. For those outside of Canada, Bitcoin Well is a comparable option. But self-custody too has its risks, mostly the risk of human error. If you lose your seed phrase, which is the 12 or 24 word backup that gives you access to your wallet, your Bitcoin is gone permanently. No customer service, no reset button. I won't cover the details of self-custody in this video, but if you want to learn more, you can join me in this one later. Now, I don't think you need to do self-custody from day one. I personally didn't. Although now I often buy Bitcoin directly into my hardware wallet, I started off buying Bitcoin on exchanges as well, which got me started quickly, which is the most important thing if you remember our earlier example. And until this day, I still buy and hold Bitcoin even across multiple exchanges as a layered strategy. More on that shortly. So if you're just starting for the first time, it totally makes sense to buy your Bitcoin on a custodial exchange and move on to self-custody later on. Now that that's clear, how do we choose the best exchanges to buy Bitcoin on? Let's now get into the 3 criteria that actually matter the most when choosing an exchange. As long as an exchange checks these following 3 boxes, stop researching and start buying. Hold on guys, I'm not telling you not to research, not by any means. I'm just telling you to put a cap on how much research you want to do before you go into action. You are not picking a life partner, you are picking a starting point. Drop a comment below if you've been going back and forth on a specific exchange. The first criteria is legitimacy and security. This is the only true non-negotiable. It doesn't matter how low the fees are, how big the bonus is, or how sophisticated the platform is. Nothing makes up for failing here. Ask this question. Is the exchange you're considering regulated in your country? Regulation means the exchange is held to legal standards for how it handles your funds. Does it hold real Bitcoin in reserve and not just on paper? Also, does it keep the majority of Bitcoin in cold storage, meaning offline, away from hackers? Also, what security features does it offer? For example, does it have 2FA, two-factor authentication, so your account can't be accessed with just a stolen password? Now, let me make this clear, because this is where real disasters have happened and a lot of people lost their hard-earned money. January 2018, an incident happened related to the crypto exchange CoinCheck. Hackers stole over 530 million worth of NEM, a cryptocurrency, not Bitcoin, but the lesson applies to any exchange holding any digital assets. All of their NEM was stored in a single hot wallet with no cold storage and no multi-signature protection. Hackers targeted an employee, stole the private key to that wallet, and drained everything. The reason that was possible had nothing to do with which cryptocurrency it was. It was purely a storage decision. Cold storage would have prevented it. And then there was FTX, November 2022. Many customers suddenly found they could not withdraw their funds. The exchange filed for bankruptcy within days. Investigations revealed that customer funds had been moved to a sister trading firm and used to cover its losses. Eventually, customers finally got repaid, but it was in dollars based on what Bitcoin was worth in November 2022 when it sat around $17,000, not what it's worth today. That's the ordeal you want to avoid. Two different failure modes with the same outcome. Your money is gone. So when choosing an exchange or exchanges to buy Bitcoin on, take some time to look into the reputation and security of the exchange. Although we can never know for sure what happens in the future, it pays to do some basic due diligence. A quick Google research will even do. Just to mention some examples, in the US, Kraken has operated since 2011 and has never lost customer funds to a hack. Kraken also publishes proof of reserves audits. According to their own website, they have a 100.3% reserve ratio for Bitcoin at the time of making this video. A proof of reserves review is a procedure performed by an independent third-party accountant. This is intended to confirm that a custodian holds the assets it claims to on behalf of its clients. This is perhaps a bit too much detail, but if you wanted even more assurance, you can even download the report here. Now, if you're in Canada, then one good example is NDAX. It's regulated here in Canada. According to them, they keep over 90% of client assets, including Bitcoin and other crypto assets, in cold storage, meaning the vast majority is held offline in line with industry best practice. Now, moving on to the next criteria, which is fees. Fees are what most people obsess about, rightfully, because they compound quietly over years of buying. But here's my personal take. As long as fees are within an acceptable range, I'm not losing sleep over small differences. For me, 1% or under is fine. Above 2% is where I start questioning it, unless there's a clear reason like tighter spreads or better built-in service. So what should you actually look at? I will tell you something that most beginners miss. First, consider the trading fees of an exchange. Trading fees are charged every time you buy, usually as a percentage of the transaction applied when the trade goes through. One thing worth knowing, many exchanges have a simple beginner-friendly version and an advanced version, and offer slightly different pricing, something to check out. Some exchanges offer subscriptions that remove trading fees entirely. Kraken is one example here. They have a subscription model that costs $4.99 per month or $49.99 per year, which gives you zero trading fees on the app up to $10,000 in volume. I actually just signed up for it myself because my trades were increasing a bit. Here's a quick calculation. At $500 in purchases per month, the subscription already pays for itself immediately. Some platforms like Wealthsimple Crypto here in Canada also uses a declining fee model where the fee percentage you pay drops as your volume grows over time. Worth checking out. Second, there is one fee that most beginners never think about until the day that they want to move their Bitcoin off the exchange, and those are withdrawal fees. There will come a day
when you think you're safe and happy and your joy will turn to ashes in your mouth.
Not that, but there will come a day where you will want to withdraw your Bitcoin, and it should not cost $50 to move out your own Bitcoin. But there are exchanges that do that. A reasonable withdrawal fee, in my opinion, should either be completely free or a few dollars at the most. NDAX here in Canada offers a free Bitcoin withdrawal option. It takes up to about 12 hours, but still completely reasonable and costs nothing. If you're in the US, Kraken's Bitcoin withdrawal fee is currently in the low single-digit dollar range. I recently tried it out myself and it worked completely fine. So before you choose an exchange, make sure that the withdrawal fee also makes sense. Now let's continue with the third criteria in choosing a great exchange to buy Bitcoin on, and that is ease of use and interface. The best exchange for a beginner is just clean and simple. Many platforms push advanced features like leverage, charting, and so on. But ask yourself, do you really need all of that? If you're planning to hold Bitcoin long term, that's what I do, you don't need all of that. What matters most to me is not just how easy it is to buy, but also how easy it is to withdraw. Continuing our previous discussion, eventually, and I'd encourage everyone to get here, you'll want to move your Bitcoin into your own cold wallet, also called a hardware wallet. It's a physical device that stores your Bitcoin offline, completely away from hackers. I have a complete video here on how you can do that. And it may be a year or even more until you actually do this, but you want to be prepared. When you've done your homework and researched this and you're ready to move your Bitcoin to cold storage, you want to make sure that your Bitcoin is not stuck on your exchange or difficult to get out. For those of you not familiar yet, here's what the withdrawal process looks like. You go to the withdrawal section of your exchange, enter your cold wallet's receiving address, confirm the amount, and send. A well-designed exchange makes this straightforward and, most importantly, fast. So far, I've tested this with all exchanges I have Bitcoin on. In Canada, I withdrew Bitcoin from NDAX without any issue. The fastest option, Express, gets your Bitcoin to your cold wallet in about an hour. I tried the same for Kraken, which is available in many countries. I withdrew Bitcoin to my cold wallet and it cleared the same afternoon. That's the standard to look for. By the way, guys, if this video is helping, consider subscribing. I make videos for beginners on how to buy and hold Bitcoin securely, helping you on your own way to stack sats, eventually getting to 1 Bitcoin or even more, if that's what you want. Even once you found a solid exchange that checks all 3 boxes, there's one more thing worth understanding, and that is platform diversification. Contrary to what many people think, no single exchange needs to hold all of your Bitcoin or Satoshis. In case you're new to this, 1 Bitcoin equals 100 million Satoshis. I personally hold Bitcoin, or Satoshis rather, on Kraken, and in Canada here also on NDAX, and 2 other exchanges, with a growing share moving into my cold storage. Having my Bitcoin on multiple exchanges has a purpose: accessibility, flexibility, and spreading out platform risk. No matter how certain you feel about choosing the right platform, it's money, your hard-earned money, and you want to keep it as safe as possible. Now, I'm not saying that you should open accounts on 5 exchanges and start cold storage all at once. No, think of it as a gradual journey. On day 1, just pick 1 exchange that passes the checklist and start buying. That's it. As your confidence grows, in a few months or a year, you can start exploring a second platform. Maybe one with lower fees at higher volumes or smoother withdrawals. Eventually, move the majority into cold storage and use exchanges mainly for buying. Again, this is not financial advice, guys. I'm just sharing with you what I did. With all things, there are risks in using exchanges as well as putting your Bitcoin on your cold wallet. That's something that you need to be aware of. So before you do anything, always make sure that you've studied this and you've done your own research. See if it's right for you and then take action. So guys, that's how easy it is to pick an exchange. No overthinking. 3 criteria: legitimacy and security, fees, and ease of use. If an exchange clears all 3, it is good enough to get started. If not, just skip it. As I mentioned before, guys, Kraken is one exchange I started using recently. It was founded in 2011, available in many countries, and in my opinion, passes all 3 criteria I talked about earlier. When I first started on Kraken, I paid the trading fees for each Bitcoin purchase. But then I decided to sign up for their monthly subscription that gave me access to $0 trading, which saves me a lot of money. If you're in the US, you can use my link in the descriptions down below to earn $25 in Bitcoin if you deposit at least $100 US in fiat money and trade at least $100. For those of you in Canada, you can earn $10 in Bitcoin if you deposit at least 100 Canadian dollars in fiat money and trade at least $100. So guys, what are you going to do next? Once your chosen exchange passes the checklist we talked about, the only real mistake left, in my opinion, not financial advice, is not to start. And as I said, you can always invest on other platforms later, but you cannot get back the time you spent not stacking. I hope this video was useful, guys, and see you in the next one.